been saving one.
Hey everybody, welcome to the THL Awards show. It has been, like 2 weeks since we've had a stream now. This has been a long time for us to have an off-season without a stream, but I am Donde. I'm excited to be here with everybody. As you can see, there's like 7 of us here tonight. dusharmo, Markshire, RidiculousHat, Saku, TwoStarMako, and the Big Ted, all here with me. It's a party, and we are here to give away awards for what happened last season in Legacy, Hero, Pro, Wild. We're going to do some social awards as well, and of course, the Hall of Fame inductions. So I'm super excited. Saku, as our stream op tonight, thank you so much for taking the time out to do this and to set up the stream and do everything without what you do for us, not only tonight, but throughout the course of the season. It would not be possible for us to put on streams. So I am deeply appreciative of you, and just know that you will be receiving no content awards tonight because you could earn every content award all the time, and it would be completely unfair to everybody else.
So with the content award, Arhat had to fix my boo-boo at the very beginning. So I don't know if I'm a good streamer or whatever, but, he's on top of things.
A thing we like to say on Salty Saturday is, content Hall of Famer, by the way. Markshire knows all about that, so he fixes my mistakes constantly. So we are, there's going to be a lot of stuff we're going through tonight, so we're going to be moving somewhat quickly to make sure we get every series their chance in the sun. Before we start, do want to thank, as I said before, thank everybody for tuning in, and if you have not done so, please consider following, subscribing. If you subscribe to Twitch Prime, it is free, but that will continue to let us put on more and more events and off-season events, which, by the way, we've got an off-season event coming up dusharmo. You want to talk to everybody about that real quick?
Yeah, we got, just to remind you guys, we got our duos tournament coming up, so if you guys are interested, please register. There's 2 forms to register on. There's a Google form and a Battlefy form. There, if you scroll up in the announcement section, they'll be there. They're also pinned in the duos tournament channel. The registration on Battlefy and deck lists will be right up on the tournament, so just make sure that you're registered before the tournament starts. And we'll be making an announcement in the Discord as well. So I'm looking forward to that, bringing up these new decks.
Should be exciting. And Mako has an announcement for us as well regarding captains and teams.
Yeah.
Don't swear too much.
If you haven't, I have 3 things. If you haven't registered for the series that you're going to be playing / captaining in, you need to do that ASAP. And I'm looking at myself in this camera because I haven't done any of it yet. I'm a horrible example. If you are a captain, you haven't submitted your roster or your logo or your team name, I guess, you need to get that to our email as soon as you can. I think, what do we set the deadline as? The 16th or the 18th?
Board member,
by the end of this week. Get it to us by the end of this week.
Okay. Listen to what Arhat said. And then a third thing that I can't remember. There might have only been 2 things. I think I probably just thought there were 3.
Just make something up.
It's like roster and logo.
No, the third thing is that you were going to correct Donde. He said use your Twitch Primes, but he actually meant use your Prime Gaming subs. So I'm glad that you brought that up, Mako. That's very important.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, actually, I apologize.
I do have a third thing, and it comes from the chat, and I have it because it cracked me up when I saw it. So CMAC asked, right when we started, if Arhat was doing a cosplay of the Big Ted or if the Big Ted was doing a cosplay of Arhat, and I would like to know the answer to that.
The answer is yes, I think.
Yes is the answer.
We coordinated ahead of time to be just close enough that you would ask that question and refuse to answer it.
I didn't ask.
Obviously.
So
Well, listen, I'm the commissioner of all the other series, and he's the hero commissioner. We have to like look about the same.
Makes sense to me.
Yes. So if one of you goes missing, then you can just take over for the other one, right?
do I fall in that
Yeah.
category? Because I do have glasses and a beard.
It's true. But
Not only
not
that, Big
Canadian.
Ted got to experience the frantic board meeting that we had like a minute before we went on, and now I'm sure he's scarred for life. So
It was quite the experience and made me thankful I'm not part of the board.
it's just something we all get used to as time goes on. Well,
Was it that bad?
I mean, it was definitely not organized, that's for sure.
Considering
Well,
we haven't had a in-person board meeting in how long has it been?
Ever.
Over a year.
That's
The last,
Wait, over 2
They're
years.
We
all
had
over-
online
They're
board
all
meetings.
over chats. So, yeah, that was interesting.
The
If it
next
functions,
in-person
it
board meeting
functions.
is at DreamHack, but we'll see when that happens.
I didn't mean in person. I
Hey.
meant like on whatever.
Markshire and I had the last
Over the year.
in-person board meeting.
That is true.
Yeah.
That was the last board brunch. Yeah.
Just before the country descended into chaos.
Orange.
It was great timing by us.
Perfect timing. Yep.
No mimosas though. No mimosas that day.
I know. That was
Speaking of perfect timing, I'm really looking forward to this show being perfectly timed, which is why we're not going to waste any time. Mako, thank you so much for taking the lead
Great.
on the Legacy Awards. Why don't you get us started?
Thanks for taking over, Hat.
I'll let Donde transition that.
I think
Wow.
Hat did a just fine job transitioning it to you. But yes, we were going to have
on
Mako
your
lead us
screen.
through.
I meant on your screen, bud.
On
but
my
sure.
screen, I'm not the one
Saku.
doing
Sorry,
it.
Saku.
Content Hall of Fame, by the way.
always.
Okay.
That was a compliment for Saku, by the way, and an insult to Donde. I want to be very clear about that.
Okay.
I feel insulted.
So, anyways, now that we can get started here, we're starting off with our Legacy Awards, with the first being the Big Game Hunter Award. So, runner-up for this season was Bill Snyder versus Liquid Ox from Week 4 with a 202 PR difference. And then our winner of this season is the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Saku versus Snake Fods in Week 9 with a 212 PR difference.
Rigged.
Yep.
Wow.
He rigged it. the numbers.
First
Right
award
there.
goes to the guy offing the stream. Excuse me, that's clearly rigged.
He was also on the team of the THL commissioner, by the way.
Yeah, we'll just end the stream right now. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it.
100% of awards doled out to Saku.
Who would be mad? Who would be upset?
Probably
I would
If you
everyone.
don't like
Saku.
Saku, just
against it.
get
No,
out if you don't like
that's-
him.
I'd allow it.
Yeah, honestly.
All right, we'll move on for Hat's sake. So coming up next, we have the best new team. Best new team, not to be confused with the best team, which was Hearthstone Academy, but the best new team.
Oof.
Not an award.
So a new team consists of, if I'm not mistaken, 3 players who have not played together. Correct? Is that correct?
Minimum 3 players, correct?
Minimum 3, yes, not 3 exactly. So runner-up for best new team for Legacy was Beast Mode.
Is Saku
With-
on that team?
Was Saku on that team?
No.
He was on my team.
Okay. Calm down.
No.
Was Beast
That's
Mode
a 5-4 beast mode. So this is Team Twilight Runner now. That's what we're calling this.
with a 5-4 record with a 51.08% win rate. And then your winner of best new team was Murgle with an 8-1 record and a 55.96% win rate. This was the team that was Dabs in all of his alts, correct?
Yes, Matt and Arms brings up a
Yep.
good point. How can we give this award to a team of alts? That seems unfair.
Well, they were all new accounts.
Oh, okay. That's
Sure.
fair.
Yeah.
It should also be pointed out that before we get too far along, all of these awards are regular season awards. They do not
Yes.
include playoffs.
Yes, playoffs is not included.
And if anyone wants to see the stats, I'm going to post the link to that sheet right now, where you can look yourself. So feel free
Transparency.
to take a look. Yes, it is my intent to make sure that the criteria is very transparent for this entire process because we want to make sure that you all have faith. And
Don't
also,
get mad at our hat.
I mean, you can if you want to, but big props to both Murgle and Beast Mode here. It's really fun to see new teams come together, especially Murgle. I think Dabs, Dibs, and Debs
Debs.
were all new to
Debs.
THL, where they were also all rookies. Is that correct? Dabs
Yeah,
might
I
not have
think
been.
so.
Dabs was not.
I don't think Debs was, but yeah.
No. And G-Kick, of course, returning after a long hiatus and showing us all what a 5 seed can look like. Because beastly 7-2 performance in the 5 there. I didn't intend for that pun to reference the other team. It just kind of happened.
Alrighty.
We assume all our hat puns are intentional, by the way.
Right, and
we're moving on to
next
best
award.
captain. So, your best captain for legacy from this season. In second place, your runner-up was Dabs, captaining Murgle with 0 DQs, an 8-1 team record, and a 55.96% win rate. And then your winner for best captain is not Sage. It is Lotus Knight, captaining Good Luck Albatrosses with 0 DQs, a 7-2 record, and a 59.55% win rate.
My captain.
Oh, captain, my captain.
Yeah, GLA kind of had good performance in all seeds. It's interesting to note, Lotus Knight's match record was 4-5. It doesn't look as good himself on paper, but that's with a 2019 game record. He had a positive game win rate with a barely negative match win rate. Every single match was hard fought. And so even though he wasn't putting up necessarily as many wins in the matches that we're used to seeing, the games were really, really close. And overall, 60% win rate as a team for the regular season is pretty bonkers. That's exceptional.
Alrighty. Moving on, we have our rookie of the season. So, for your runner-up for rookie of the season, we have Neji Boston with a 7-2 record and a 25-13 game record. And then your winner for rookie of the season is Adamos with an 8-1 record and a 25-16 game record. I'm laughing internally about these two names for reasons that the some people in here know about.
That was a little off center on the slide there, but yeah, I would like to say something on his behalf, as he did get kind of beat up in the PPR all season, the power rankings and whatnot. Unfortunately, that takes into account who you play, and that can certainly drag you down in the standings. But it should never be understated that Adamos had a phenomenal season, regardless of whether or not a rookie season or just any person would be happy to have an 8-1, 25-16 season. So sorry the PPR did not favor you. I've been on that side as well, so I know the feeling. But congratulations on being the best pure rookie this season at Adamos.
Yeah, I don't know where Walter Mellon was. I heard he had a pretty good season too.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Good fruit too.
Coming up next, we have comeback player. So our runner-up for comeback player is our very own The Big Ted, going from a 2-6 record to a 7-2 record, which is a 52% improvement. And then our winner for comeback player was Tony Montana, with a 1-7 record last season, and then moving to a 6-3 record this season, which is a 54% improvement.
All I'm
Really
saying
nice.
is I should have thrown harder last season, apparently.
Yeah, it was a big mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see Tony Montana is a guy who's been in THL for a really long time, and has been pretty consistent. So it's it's really cool to see. Obviously, a pretty weak season last one, but it's nice to see him bounce back and just have someone else who's been in THL for. I think Tony's been in for about as long as I have, which is almost 5 years now. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he was in THL when I first joined in season 4, and he had been on teams before. If I recall, he was on Defias
Yeah.
Brotherhood for quite some time.
Yep. Yeah, started out there. I think I want to say he was maybe like the season after I joined, something like that. But it was a while ago.
12 seasons played by Tony Montana total, 112 played THL matches, and first match was in season 3.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
That's some longevity right there. Yeah, nice job, Tony. Glad you were able to bounce back. And Ted, how's it feel to be better than last season?
I mean, considering I moved down from the 1 seed to the 2/3 seed, I don't know if I
remember that.
played that much better, but still feels good. Feels a lot better to be 7-2 than 2-6.
If you would like to join HSA, you can play in the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 seeds.
Hey, that seems to work though.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if everybody is ready, we have our MVP award for the Legacy Series. And your runner-up, I'll let the drum rolls hit the chat. Your runner-up for MVP is Boozosaurus with 7-2 record and a 25-12 game record, which is a 64.24% weighted win percentage. And then your winner is Mojo Pal with an 8-1 record, series record, and a 25-9 game record, which makes a 68.89% weighted win percentage. Yes, the best game record.
You wascoing wabbits.
25-9 is pretty crazy. As Mojo was on the pod people for a long time. To give some background, our average team age on the pod people, now that Mojo has left the team, I am the youngest person on the team at 34, which is atypical.
Nice.
But yeah, and for a while there, we definitely had the record for number of kids in the team. There were, combining all the fathers, there were 13 children on the team. Dyrus Bear was punching above his weight with 5 on his own. But we had a 5, 2 3s, and a 2. Pretty impressive, all things considered, as far as number of children. And Mojo Powell was on our team. I think we signed him season 5 or season 6 at the tender age of 15. So he was half as much as the next closest person. And he left us earlier this year because he started college. So really awesome to have played with him for 2 or 3 years now, for quite some time, and then for him to come back and just be wrecking kids. So Mojo, really proud of you, really happy for you, and you should be really proud of the season.
And nice try, Boozosaurus.
The
Yeah.
Daddy Awards. I like that name.
Yeah, that's not weird.
Nope.
Yeah. Boozy, nice job. 7-2. 25-12. 25-12. That's great. I wish he had won 4 fewer games, so it could be 21-12, because that's a great album.
Love the rush.
Right?
Don't love the animated broomstick.
Oh my god.
If you play it in Druid, you're a jerk. That is not where it belongs.
It's a 1-mana 5/5.
How do they fit that in Druid? Don't you have to play like a lot of
I
big
don't know.
cards?
Tell my opponent last night who ripped it out against me. I don't know.
I'm just really surprised there's Broom for that card.
I'm pretty sure by
Sweep
turn
you
8
off
that's
the
a 1
stage.
mana 9/9, right? In Druid. You just play your 2 0-cost cards and make it +4/+4 twice.
Well,
I think we can move on.
yeah.
I think we're waiting on Saku.
Saku had asked us to stall for time a little bit here,
Yes.
peel back the curtain a little. But he said he's ready to go. So, of course, now that we have revealed all the Legacy Awards, we will be moving on to the Hero Awards. and Ted will be taking us through the Hero Awards. So, Ted, take it away.
All right, yeah. So first up, we have the Big Game Hunter Award, of course. The runner-up from Week 8, facing Hockey Boys, is Diamond with a 234 PR difference. And fun fact as well, Diamond also got 3rd place for BGH. So, yeah, he had pretty good season of beating people that were a lot higher than he is. And the winner, of course, also from Week 8, with a 245 PR difference, was Amphil beating Base Tank.
I'd also like to say that was called by me. Anval beating Base Tank. I called that. That was the 1 week I appeared on Saloon this season, and I was the only one who picked Anval. And he's my boy, and I truly appreciate that he made me look really, really smart. Because, I figured there was nothing to lose. Because if he loses to Base, we're like, all right, well, he was supposed to lose to Base because Base is amazing. But then if he beats Base, I look like a genius for calling it and trusting in my teammates. So thanks, Anval. You're the man.
I just feel so bad for Diamond. With a 234 PR difference in not winning BGH, that has to hurt.
I don't know. Still winning. But you know what Anfal told me before he played his match against Based? He said, Hat, I've got the Based in my sights.
But
we didn't actually talk. I just wanted to say that.
Just want to point out, Diamond Diamond's been captaining more than he's been playing recently, but he hit legend very quickly this season. I think was like top 1,000 this past season, and my sources say that he was not carried. So if if that is true, that's pretty impressive. Diamond doing
big
well in
if
THL.
true.
Wait, is the source Diamond?
Nice to see.
Was the source that told you he wasn't carried himself?
I will not reveal my sources.
Markshire's source is a singular screenshot of him hitting legend, but there is a conspicuously blacked out portion in the bottom left where the spectator would be.
I bet an Eagle Eye player could get away with that during the regular THL season too. We definitely wouldn't investigate any further. I'm being sarcastic. Please don't have spectators during the THL regular season games.
Don't break the rules. I'll be very upset. Yeah.
Yeah, Markshire is the one who has to handle that. So if you like making work for Markshire, then by all means.
Stop encouraging people.
Don't
cheat. Just don't cheat, please. Anyways, neither of these players cheated. Really great job. Congratulations to both Diamond and Anfal. What do we got next on the plate, Ted?
All right. Next up, we have the Best New Team Award, and pretty funny. The runner-up was Tam Tam Surf Slam, who went 6-3-1 with a 53.39% win rate. And the winners, Spies That Flies, going 9-1-1 with a 58.37% win rate. And most of you will recognize these were the two finalists.
Always nice when the teams work out that way. The best teams in the regular season were also the best teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tan Pam's been around for a while, but this particular incarnation has 3 players that are new to the team playing together, and it really shows that the leadership is what truly makes a team. So, great job to both of these teams.
Yeah, I was very surprised when we looked that up to see that they were all new because, like you said, Tam Pam's been around for so long. In name, at the very least, they've been not only a team in Hero, but a competitive team in Hero for several seasons. So it's cool that they had a very reworked roster, and it didn't seem to make them skip a beat at all.
It's Martin Brodeur turned out to be an excellent late season signing.
Marty B.
Oh, yeah.
He had a lot of extra time on his hands, Corona and all. No hockey in the middle of the season there.
Yeah.
All right, who's our best captain? Right. What do we got here?
So, a runner-up for best captain is Quaz from the Cult, going 6-5 with a 56.05% win rate and no DQs. And the winner, Super Murloc from the Spies That Flies, also no DQs, 9-1-1 and a 58.37% win rate.
9-1-1 still just looks crazy to me. That's just ridiculous.
I find it kind of funny that the runner-up had a team that only went 6-5. that kind of shows that their wins were like blowouts and their losses were they still kept it close.
Well, I think that is something that we talked about a lot this entire season. I know you guys talked about it on Saloon, but just in Discord a lot. Hero was so dense. Just the best teams and like, all the way from like 1 to like 8 were such competitive teams the whole way that any of those teams would have been capable of taking the championship. But obviously, only 4 teams made the playoffs. But I think that just goes to show the competitive level of Hero is insane.
Absolutely.
Hero this season in the 2 seed, I played against multiple people that were like top 500 legend or better. It was one of the most, if not the most competitive THL seasons I have ever played in. Just really, really high quality of opponent and super high density of players.
And I don't want to give anything away, but I've seen some of the rosters coming up for Hero next season. It's going to be much, much more of the same.
Yeah.
So if you like a challenge, come on down.
Come on down to Hero. All right, you guys ready for that?
All right.
Next up.
Yep. Next up, we have Rookie of the Season. Runner-up was A2 Battleship, going 9-2 with a 29-15 game win rate, and the winner, Based Inc., going 10-1, going 32-10.
And it's hard to believe that Based is a rookie, but I think I casted her like at least twice this past season, maybe 3 times, and I think she won every game on stream. Never saw any significant misplays. Always saw just like really good technical play, good lines. Really a great performance.
Yeah, just like I find it insane that this is only her 2nd season in THL as a whole in person Hero. It feels like she's been around forever.
Also want to thank Based for taking the time to help cast Schoolstone as well, which has been a fantastic midday injection of content on the weekends. And, her and Lotus do a great job. There are other people who've contributed as well, but they've been the primary casters for it. So seeing Based do well and hearing Based cast, I'm not surprised between, the confluence there between how well she does casting and how well she does playing.
100%.
Interesting to note, the one loss, Anfall, who got an
Yep.
award for beating her because he was the only person to do it.
That's my guy.
Wow.
This isn't like that time when Brushy Tuna likes to bring up that I called like myself beating somebody being the only loss, and then I was wrong. I'll just do it for you, Brushy, because I know you'll bring it up.
Yeah, it's automatic for Brushy, and he's a reminder. He's an elephant. Never forgets. Always reminds.
He'll also remind you the time that he was MVP of pro season.
I'd never heard of that.
He'll remind you. You didn't know?
No, I never knew that.
If Brushy's breathing, he's telling you he was MVP.
Yep. He tells Ron that every day. Like, he gets on and tells Ron that the moment he gets on. So.
Yep. It's just a reminder. So.
But we got to get to MVP this season.
Yep.
So
we're
let's
comeback player. Right
Yeah,
now?
well, next
A comeback player first.
Let's take a look at comeback player. Let's
not skip that.
I don't want to skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to
Guys,
skip
no
it.
issue skipping it.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, for comeback player, the runner-up, aka not the winner, is Donde, going from 3-7 to 7-4, 34%
Heyo.
improvement. Winner Posca from 3-7 to 8-3 with a 37% improvement.
Oop. Who?
Yeah, Pasca. I think he kind of struggled a little bit last season across the board, and completely flipped that in every series this season. He played so well, and it just so happens that this is the one he wins the award for. But Pasca is a player that I think all of us knew was way better than the records had shown, and now we and he has shown everybody what he's capable of.
Absolutely.
Would also not be surprised if we had an award for this. I bet Pasca would be the best player who plays Hearthstone exclusively on mobile in THL.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he might be. But there's some stiff competition as well, especially over in the Wild series. But
Itachi plays a lot of mobile, I think, so that would be probably right up there.
Not exclusively.
Sage only plays mobile too.
Yeah, Sage is only mobile.
True.
The other player I'm thinking of is in the Wild series, so we'll talk about them a little bit. Don't want to spoil things.
Nope. So we're ready for MVP.
I'd love to see an all mobile team.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Team mobile.
Okay, so MVP before we acknowledge that pun. So
Yeah, but they're merging now, so all the rogue decks have to play Sprint.
Nice.
Oh my
That's a good one.
Oh, that was great.
All right. So, anyways, our MVP. Runner-up was Dabs 8-2, 28-14 game win rate for a 63.1 weighted win, and our winner, Basting 10-1, going 32-10 with a 72.16 weighted win rate.
Yep. Wicked.
I had to
That's-
double check the math on that number, by the way, because I
Yeah.
just could not believe it.
That's just insane. 72. I have not seen
Yeah.
that kind of win rate in this for any series. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, this was a blowout. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, when we were doing, power rankings and whatnot for Heart Center, Based was just Based played Pasca at one point when they were 1-2 and very, very close. And at that point, Based just turned on the Jets, and it was not even close after that win.
Like normally Dabs with his record would get the MVP. But this is
definitely.
ludicrous.
Yeah, no shade at Dabs. Like, that's an amazing season too.
Yeah, like Dabs went insane, but Base almost had a 10% higher weighted win rate. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Congratulations to both, and Dabs as well. Dabs did really, really well in Legacy, really, really well in Hero, and Based obviously crushed it in. Well, Based was playing in 4 series and still put up these kind of numbers. That's also a lot of consistency and a lot of Hearthstone over the course of all 4 seasons.
Does anybody want to quickly explain what weighted
I was
win
just
rate
going to do that. Yeah, weighted win is a combination of your win percentage, but also takes into account the win percentage of the players you played against. So again, kind of like what we do for the power rankings, where a higher, stronger strength of schedule will give you a higher power ranking. It's the same thing with weighted win percentage. So it is a little bit at the mercy of your schedule, but usually it stays fairly even for most players throughout the course of the season.
And for record, for unweighted win rates for these players, the unweighted game win rate for Based Inc. 76% is the unweighted. It's higher.
Come on.
And for Dabs here, unweighted is exactly 2 out of 3, 66.67%. So,
I mean, if you just look at the losses, 10 losses in 11 weeks of play means that most weeks she didn't lose more than a single game. So if you take out the Anfall week of losing 3, that's 7 games in the other 10 weeks lost.
There we go,
nuts.
Tuna.
Crazy.
I lose more games than that in a day sometimes, let alone 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Especially given the fact that it's LHS, like your opponent is building decks that are probably like direct counters to at
this
least
is the
one or
counter
two
queue
decks,
format,
right?
and Base is like, no, it
like
isn't. No, it
like
isn't.
most wins should be 3-2 in LHS unless you like really high roll or really outplay your opponent. Like generally that's how it works, but yeah, super impressive. All right, I think unless anyone else has any more thoughts, I think we're ready to move on to Pro Series.
We are.
Yep.
We are. And Markshire will be talking us through the Pro Awards.
So for Pro, first up we have Best New Team. Coming in at runner-up, we have Everyday We Triflin. They went 6-4-1 at a 53% win rate overall. And then as the winner, coming as no surprise, Wash U Misha's 8-3 in the regular season, 58.99% win rate overall for the regular season. Both of these teams did really well. I mean, Wash U, this was a team that, I mean, they were dominant throughout the whole season. There was never really any doubt, even from week 1, that I think they were going to be a top tier team. And even though they didn't end up winning the season, in the regular season, they were the clear best team overall, not just the best new team.
Yeah, most of those losses came at the end of the season for them. And I know that they had mentioned that there was a lot of burnout at that point. They were doing TESPA things in addition to THL. So, you're hitting the end of the meta, and you've been doing the same thing now for 2 months. So I can completely understand that. So, if it wasn't for the burnout, they might have been able to take the whole thing. But, that's part of the season too. Is just kind of it's having the mentality to last through a longer season.
Yeah, and the Hero and the Pro season felt really long. They went
Definitely.
a while, so really, Fortitude was really a big deal in the season. But Washu definitely. The first team they beat week 1 was my team, the Unknown. They beat us like 20-6. It was like, what? What
And
did
y'all
we?
ended up being a semis team, right? Like that just
Yeah.
wasn't them like coming out of the gate beating on like one of the weaker teams in pro. Like the Unknown were really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they not only did they win a lot, they had a lot of those like 20-point weeks
Yep.
where they did super well. It was just, I mean, it really can't be understated how
And I
dominant.
think we were halfway through the season, and everyone's like, "What? Washu's in the playoffs?"
Yeah,
And there was like 5 or 6 games left.
yeah.
Yeah, they were about the only team that had that treatment because just like Hero, Pro was very dense with a lot of teams right in the hunt all the way to the end. So,
Yep, so many
you don't usually
talented
see a
clubs.
team a very a lot of talent there. You don't usually see a new team come in and stomp like the Mishas did.
Point out as well, EDT, which I realize is what their team name stands for, as of like 10 minutes ago, that's basically like NPH Pro Edition, and they have some really spicy additions to their roster there. Sanguine in the 5, really
Yeah.
strong player, and Jimmy Eats Shoes is known on the ladder as Kayla's Luna, who you may recognize from Top 100 Legend basically every single month. A really, really strong player. Who I did not realize had that kind of pedigree, but I managed to play a match against them, and they are very, very good at the game, and were in contention for top 16 the last month for the previous Masters Tour. So I expect we'll see more from EDT if they run it back.
It's awesome. Yeah, I did not know that about them, but yeah, that's great. No, definitely a lot of good players on EDT. And then also just one more quick thing about Wash U. The worst record on their team in the regular season was 7-4. That's, I think, a lot of teams, maybe 1 or 2 seed. But their 5 seed at the end of the season was 7-4.
Yeah, I think Washu needs to brush up on that 5 seed guy and step it up a little bit more.
Team record. Team record was 8-3, 8-3, 7-3, 7-4, 7-4. What?
Wow. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna move on to best captain. Coming in at the runner-up, we have Aviously, captaining Bad to the Bone, 0 DQs, 7-4 overall record, and a 57.21% win rate. And then the winner for best captain is Heat Shock, captaining, of course, Wash U. Again, no DQs, 8-3 overall record, 58.99% win rate. 2 really good captains of really good teams. Aviously has captained Bad to the Bone for the past several seasons now. I actually think he might have come in at the inaugural beta pro season that we had. But I think it's really great to see him get the runner up here. He's been bringing in a lot of high quality players, and it's always nice to have captains that bring in new players. But taking that step and making sure that they know the rules and they're not DQing is huge, because that's often a significant issue, especially when we see really high level qualifier grinders or ladder grinders come in. Sometimes it's kind of hit or miss whether they will take THL seriously and actually play through a full season and show up to all their matches. And seeing 0 DQs here as well as a great record is just awesome to see for Avi. So that's huge.
Yeah, big bounce back season for Bad to the Bone as well. And just want to give a quick shout out to
Absolutely.
The Pro Series as a whole, fewest DQs in any series, and all but one team had no DQs. So that's really, really awesome. So shout out to all captains in Pro Series, because that's not easy to do.
Being professional.
Yeah. Big ups to the captains. Also, big ups to the 3 seed on Bad to the Bone, Ego Waffle, for getting Twitch partner yesterday. Congratulations,
buddy.
Ego.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Dabbing on him left and right.
Ego dab. Ego pog. All right, and yeah, Heat Shock, congratulations, you're great. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, not much else to say about Heat Shock. We already talked about Wash U. Great job, great team. Moving on to Rookie of the Season, coming in at runner-up, we have Agranier at 7-3, 22-14 overall game record. And then the winner of Rookie of the Season is Farron at 8-3, 26-18 overall game record. So both of these players are from Washi Umishas.
Nope.
Not super surprising.
Nope,
Farron
Farron's
from
bad
Bad to the Bone.
Fair. Oh wait, no, you're right. Yeah. So Agranier from Washi Umishas, but yeah, Farron from Bad to the Bone. So two of the teams that won Best Captain. But yeah, two new players. I think I know Farron has done pretty well in ladder. I don't know much about Agranier, but great seasons from both these players.
I can say from personal experience playing against Agranier, he did very, very well, and I'm not surprised to see 7-3 with the way he played. So didn't play against Farron, so I can't say from personal experience, but Agranier well deserved to be the runner up there.
Yep, cool. And yeah, anything else to say about these two players?
Talk about our comeback
Really
players.
good.
All right.
Comebacks.
Yeah. So comeback. Coming in at runner up, we have myself.
Hey.
This says 4-7. I actually went 3-6 in the regular season.
Rigged.
Season before 4-7 was including the playoffs because I subbed twice. But so 3-6 to 7-4 with a 27% improvement. And then the winner of comeback player is Ron Mexico, 5-7 to 9-2, 40% improvement. I'll talk about Ron for a bit. I mean, obviously huge to go from, a losing season and win comeback player, but win it going 9-2, like that's up there for one of the best records in Pro Series. And Ron has also been making his name as a content creator recently. He's been streaming pretty consistently. And I mean, I think we have to say that his success in Pro Series kind of like spurred him on, going to try to start streaming consistently and having a Discord. Like that's the clear cause there. So great job to Ron.
Yeah, and Ron just one of those players, captaining the unknown, and Ron being one of my teammates, is he's just one of those players that's self-motivated. I mean, he's always trying to get helping other players and getting other players the right information, and and when I had some of the things that happened earlier in the season, he helped in and stepped in and helped me, do some things. So Ron is just an amazing person on top of an amazing player, and you should definitely check him out streaming because he talks through all of his plays.
Yeah, Ron, very good caster as well when he does cast THL matches. A little forgetful on conversations sometimes. He knows what I mean. But otherwise, very, very glad to have him helping us out with content and pushing his own channel too.
Can you guys hear it? Can you guys hear Brushy taking the credit for getting Ron where he is right now?
I
can.
I think Brushy did make the Discord.
Brushy did make the Discord.
He did, yes. Fantastically. Thanks, Brushy. With a bot.
Yes, late game deficient Ron Mexico. The funny thing about Brushy making the Discord was Brushy said, I have a surprise for Ron, and I said, did you make him a Discord? He was like, what? How? So I kind of guessed it.
So really,
which was funny.
Donde was the mastermind.
No, I blew up his spot. He had it as a secret, and I completely guessed it.
Something I do want to point out about Ron Mexico is he went 5-7 last season. That's not terrible, and he went to 9-2 and still got best improvement. So that goes to show you that he went from good to pretty damn good, if you ask me. So
Definitely.
just 5-7
Absolutely.
is not a terrible record. I mean, it's not good, but it's not terrible either.
It speaks to the density of Pro, which of course we'd expect from being a series with no PR, but being able to go 9-2 against an entire fleet of top-notch players is really difficult to do, especially when Ron was coming off a season that wasn't as hot, but he really put the energy in, and it really showed. So congratulations, Ron. Now take that energy and put it into APM Pirates. Don't leave 7 gold on the table.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Fix your battlegrounds. You don't want to watch him play battlegrounds.
You really don't.
Tuna will tell you about that.
So anyways, let's talk about our MVPs. Let's all talk about it.
Yep, final award here for Pro. Coming in For the MVP runner-up, we have Valdez at 8-3, 29-15 game record, 62.41% weighted win percentage. And then the winner for MVP, CMAK Comp H, 10-1 record on the season, 31-16 game record, 62.99% weighted win percentage. There were a lot of really strong players, and there was a lot of competition around runner-up. The numbers were pretty close there, but I mean, CMAC kind of in a league of his own, honestly, going 10-1 on the season. The only player to a series of his own. Thank you, Donde. Going 10-1, only losing one match and playing the full season. No one else in pro did that. I mean, that's just insane.
I'm looking up who he lost to. I'm curious.
It wasn't me.
Good,
He
good
beat
to
me.
know. I did not know.
But also, I want to point out it's kind of interesting that the season where Blizzard is running fewer qualifiers, CMAC is like, all right, I guess I'll just go 10-1. So the only person to defeat CMAC in combat was week 1. Mycroft 92 on Serenity.
Wow.
That was the only loss of the entire season.
I think I remember we talked about that during the Hearth Center, season in review. Because obviously, spoiler alert, C-Mac's team, Tap Last 103, won it all. And and I was asking, but he's like, "There's no way I remember what happened back then."
Yeah, not sure what happened,
Don't
but the
blame
only
him.
loss, which means if there was a loss week 1, he rolled up his sleeve and says, well, not letting that happen again, and won 10 in a row. That is what happened. Won 10 weeks in a row after that first week.
And I mean, and I don't know exactly what CMAC brought each week. I do remember casting him. I'm pretty sure it was the finals where he ended up bringing this, like, it was a control warrior. CMAC is known for control warrior.
Yes.
But it was, I mean, everyone who brought warrior this past season probably brought, Egg or Enrage or Bomb Warrior. He just goes with a straight control list with Archivist Elysiana. He ended up winning with it. I think it ended up losing 1 or 2 games, but he did end up getting one with it, clutching out that match, and of course, overall winning the championship.
Over Ron Mexico.
Yes.
Sorry, Ron.
But seriously, check out that match on YouTube because it's long gone off Twitch at this point. But if you want to see an amazing series, that CMAC versus Ron finals match was out of this world awesome.
It was delicious.
Very
delicious
happy to see that one
watch.
live.
Okay,
Also
so I found the
timestamp.
deck list. There is a face hunter with scrap shot and toxic reinforcements on the 2 columns over from Archivist Elysiana and the Warrior.
Yep, and that hunter got banned. So
didn't get to see it.
Yep, didn't get to see that. Yeah, just really, I mean, CMAC really just willing to play whatever he thought would give him the best chance to win, I think, and it worked out very well the entire season, except for week 1, but that's okay.
Wow.
Are we ready to get wild?
Well, that was our final pro. Yeah, that was our final pro awards. Now we're going to move on to wild, and of course, we don't have all of the same awards yet for wild since it was the first season. So we don't have things like comeback player because there's nothing to come back from when everyone was 0-0 before this. But we do have a few, and dusharmo, one of our resident wild players, is going to take us through those awards.
Yeah, we got 2 awards for you here. The first one is Best Captain. First, we have Blase Blase with 0 DQs, a 6-1 record, and a 60% win rate. So congratulations to Blase Blase, runner-up. Then we have our winner, our one and only Commissioner RHAT, captaining Hattleship, who surprisingly not won the championship with 0 DQs, 7-0, and a 66.6% repeating win rate.
To all the people saying rigged in chat, I rigged this by winning all my matches and getting players that won all their matches too. So there you go. Yeah. Rigged on the scoreboard was a yeah, was a really fun season. We managed to get there. Really proud of the team, honestly. The really special thing about the team is that we had a lot of 2-1 wins in a 3-player series. So a lot of the time, one of us would win early, one of us would lose in the middle of the week, and then the third person was able to take it home. And in a 3-player series, that feeling of tension happens immediately as soon as you have one loss on the board. And so we didn't sweep all that many weeks.
But you were not one of those ones that lost, so you were always one to win.
Bill didn't lose during the regular season. I managed to lose during the regular season a couple times. My regular season record was, I have this here somewhere.
Oh, this was your team record. Oh, I'm sorry.
Team record,
Yeah, I thought this was your record. Never mind.
No.
Scratch that.
Yeah, I ended up 6-1. Bill ended up 7-0. So obviously we had a really nice season, but it was just good to know that the team was we're just all there for each other, and the overall game win rate of 2/3 felt pretty bonkers. But Blase and Gonna Be Rich, they made us sweat from the other side of the bracket. I was hoping to get some games in against them, but it ended up being they got upset in the quarters, and the series went down very differently.
Yep. All right, we'll move on to MVP. We have a runner-up MVP, our very own Mike Lowe, 6-1, 18-8, with a 65.86 weighted win. And our winner for MVP, none other than Bill Snyder, 7-0, 21-7, and a gross 71.5% weighted win rate. And this is wild, guys. This is insane. That's huge, as I would say.
I mean, what can you say about that number? 21-7 during the regular season, and Mike no slouch either, 18-8. And notice that's with a match loss that you're guaranteeing that 3 losses all came at once. That means without that, 5 losses on the entire rest of the season. Really, really strong for Mike as well.
Yeah. I mean, he did not lose a match in the regular season at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
Bill's a boss.
Yeah. So between Hat and Bill, there was 1 loss. 13 wins and 1 loss.
It's our 3 seed had 2 losses. A2 had 2 losses. So
gross.
Yep. But I will say, Bill did not play Quest Mage on mobile. So, that's pretty impressive, Mike.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
And yeah, Wild, it doesn't have as many awards this time because it's a brand new series. So best new team be the same as best captain. And comeback season can't really call it a comeback if you never left.
Yeah, and next season is going to be a little bit more difficult because we are going to be going to 5-man teams, and there are more teams this season as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what some of these players will be able to do next season.
I am excited with the infusion of new players too. There's a lot of people who are joining THL just for Wild, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really interesting. I mean, seeing some of these it's not every season you see someone play the full season and go undefeated. That's pretty rare in THL for any series. It'll be interesting to see how things change next season because there aren't qualifiers. There isn't a Masters tour for Wild, right? There isn't as much of a competitive scene as there is for Standard. And I think I didn't play in Wild. I feel like at the end of it, it worked out that there was kind of a meta, but I'm just wondering how that evolves now that we're going to consistently be doing Wild and players are going to be able to see that competitive environment because to my knowledge there aren't that many other competitive places where people can play Wild series. So it's really cool just to see that. And I'm thinking it will be less likely that we'll see some crazy win rates like this from players who figured out the meta, but maybe not. We'll find out.
Yeah, I'll say that Wild still felt pretty, as far as a conquest approach, still felt pretty open. And the initial impression was that the meta kind of revolved around either beating or banning Quest Mage. That's kind of the pivot point. Do you bring it or do you target it? And if you target it, you're going more aggressive, and then you're banning a Reno deck. And if you are banning it, then that means you can play the slower control decks and try and farm the aggro. And there was more to it than that. I think it was actually Berylio who posted a really funny graphic about it in week 3 or week 4 in the THL main Discord. But there's still a lot of depth, and the release of Mind Render Elucia has changed the format dramatically. So remains to be seen what things will look like. Scholomance Academy is a very impactful wild set for a lot of reasons, not just Lucia. And so I expect this next season of Wild to be really interesting, especially with 5-player teams instead of 3. I do think that changed the dynamic a little bit. It's more likely that teams are going to prep together, have larger pools of people. Because I'll tell you that our team, we didn't prep together, and we usually didn't play the same things. And it feels like that may be something that happens more often with larger team sizes.
One thing that I like about Wild is it doesn't get as much heat about the meta that Standard gets. So there's not as much net decking. I mean, there is net decking, but it's not as prevalent as Standard. So with this new expansion coming out, I'm really interested to see what THL members spice up.
Yeah,
definitely.
And boy, I hope whatever series we add on after this is as successful as Wild, because I don't know, Wild set a really high bar for just coming out of the gate and being very, very popular, which is always fun to see. So I guess Battleground series when?
As soon as they get 8-player lobbies and we figure out how to schedule it.
Exactly.
Yeah, there were people in the middle of the season begging to get on Wild teams. It was crazy.
Well, beg no more. Plenty of spots, and I think there's probably at least a couple spots available on some of the teams.
Yep.
Yeah, remains to be seen. But we've also got some awards that are not based on competition, or at least not based on inclined competition. But we've got the Social Butterfly Award, and this is given to the 1 or 2 people who really make the biggest impact on THL's social scene in a positive way. And we want to give this award to Ron Tuna and Brushy Mexico, who is definitely the
I love it.
I think the couple
Ron
that
Tuna and
really
Brushy Mexico.
identify, like, really gave THL its flavor this season. That Ron was kind of on every show, and Brushy was kind of there giving him crap at every show. And it really just it made things feel fun. It was like a couple of brothers that were just, giving each other crap all the time. So Ron and Brushy, thank you very much for your work in production, and thank you very much for being just mean enough to each other that we get to laugh along and not feel bad about it.
And to Anfal's question of why did Ron get top billing, it's because behind every streamer is their social support system that simultaneously lives to bring them up and build them up and tear them down. And that was Brushy.
The one thing I want to know is, how does Brushy feel having to share an award with Ron?
Ooh.
I believe he would say Ruckfon Mexico if he could.
I believe he would.
Yeah.
But if you say I don't want to share an award and you're in the guy's stream chat every time he goes live, what are you really saying? What's the real story here?
I do want to point something out. We had some changes with Tavern Talk this season with hosts, and Ron stepped in. He was already doing Hero Saloon. Sorry, I was lost my thought there. And then he said, "You know what? I'll step in whenever you need me." And I needed him quite a bit for Tavern Talk to step in, and he was really good. He had a lot of it really sparked up the show, and I wish he had time to do 2, but obviously he's not going to do 2. But thank you, Ron, for doing that. It was really awesome. I was going to say that earlier, but just remembered.
Also, if I was allowed, I would give away a 3rd Social Butterfly Award to Michelle, but I am not allowed to do that. But she deserves every bit as much credit as these
You can
guys.
still do that.
So,
there's nothing saying you can't.
Yeah, it's just saying she's not registered. Can't get an award if you're not registered. And also, I will point out that everyone has their own Michelle nickname. If you know Michelle, you know. Mine is Mr. Demon. So, just throwing that out there. But we also, speaking of content, it's a great transition, dusharmo. I would like to talk about who our best content producer is this season. And there is a lot of really good content put on. But we want to give big props to Lotus Knight for his role running Schoolstone. Donde, you nominated this one. Give us a little bit of talk into how Lotus Knight kept Schoolstone going.
So Lotus, he comes up with a lot of great ideas, and Schoolstone was one of those ideas he came up with a few seasons ago, and he said, I'm taking the lead on this. I'm going to go ahead and set up my own matches, but he's like, if you want to help me with the matches, that's great, but a lot of the time it's pretty self-motivated. He tells me, I've got player A and B at Saturday at 3 p.m. And the fact that he can schedule around like a flexible schedule is very impressive too. But every week in and week out, he puts on a great show between him, Based, and JR. The casting is very solid, which is it's tough. Casting is not easy, and the team does a great job. Usually gets some fantastic matches, and it's been a nice little change of pace to have something that goes on in the afternoons, because we have the evening like pretty much every night now on during the seasons. So it's cool to have something that's a little bit different. And Lotus is well, I guess a little bit different could be his nickname, because everything he does, he puts his own unique flair into. He's got other ideas that are in the pipe, and I just thought that a general recognition of his hard work this season, not only that on School Zone, but on Hearth Center as well. He's been a fantastic contributor to the community, and School Zone is really, 100% the fruits of his labor.
I just find it very impressive how he's like, oh yeah, we can have a match between like noon and 5 on Saturday or Sunday. Just that much availability and flexibility is really amazing.
Yeah. Lotus is tireless. He works very, very hard behind the scenes, and
I also like to point out that
I'm happy to have him.
He was the author behind the Duo series this time. He was the one who brought it up to me and said that he wanted to do it. So thank you, Lotus Knight, for continuing all the content and everything that you do.
Yeah, big thanks, Lotus Knight. And we also have another award, Best Show. We want to make sure we give some credit here. And this is to the show that really it has the combination of entertainment and production value and all that. Really happy to say the Saloon is our best show of this season. Really, I think that we liked the vibe from last season, but the production this season has stepped up tremendously. Ted, Sage, and Ron have excellent chemistry, and it's just fun to watch and fun to be a part of. So, Ted,
yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
Other
you.
board guys, definitely. What have your thoughts been on Saloon?
You guys really stepped it up this season. It was really awesome content. I really enjoyed it, and just the the personas together, it made it enjoyable to watch. So yeah, I'm all about this.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, the way you guys all play off each other is perfect. It's very enjoyable. Like dusharmo and Hat said, it's very enjoyable to watch. It was enjoyable to be a part of, the episode that I got to be on this season. But also beyond that, just seeing what you guys did, innovating with like the graphics and the little competitions you had with predicting the scores and whatnot, really drove me to want Hearth Center to be better too. So I think you guys leading the charge and being so being so innovative really, I think, helped the other shows. I know from at least personal experience at Hearth Center, I know it helped me out tremendously. So I think that you lifted all of us up. Rising tide lifts all boats type of thing.
Yeah, it's really awesome to see. Yeah, like you said, Donde, like Saloon, like innovating, like coming up with new ideas, and that pushes all the other shows to be better. I think that like the chemistry between the hosts has always been good, but just this season, stepping it up with the graphics and the show just like is more organized and flows a lot more smoothly. It's really clear to like be able to like see what's going on, to know what y'all are going to be able to talk about next, and that just taking that next step has been huge and has made the show great.
Yeah, just thank you everyone for the kind words. I was really happy when I was able to take it over. I wanted to kind of shake the reputation we have of being the scuff show, and I'm glad all of our work seems to be paying off.
There's a certain charm to being the scuff show, but at the same time, and I don't mean that as any slight to anybody who came before in Saloon. Like Kel had a big hand in Saloon at the start. Quaz has had a big hand in Saloon too. So shout out to them for helping get Saloon to where it is today, because everybody played a role in that. Not just the people who were here this season, but you guys really elevated it to the next level.
Yeah, and it's definitely hard, especially commitment wise and work and all that stuff that's flowed through, trying to get organized, and it's like herding cats. So getting that show and putting the great amount of content Saloon did this season was awesome. So
yeah, it's thank you for elevating the visibility that THL has to the outside world. I feel pretty confident saying that the production on a show like Saloon really brings our curb appeal up to another level where it can show people that we're serious about this kind of grassroots community tournament stuff. It makes everything more appealing, and that means we get more players and higher quality players, and that's definitely been happening this season. So big thanks to the effort you put in.
Congrats to everybody involved.
And finally, in this section, before we get to the big shebang at the end, we've got the crossover player. And I'm sure the winner of this won't be the coveted. It is coveted indeed. And you were eligible for this award if you played in at least 3 series. But both people we're going to talk about today, both the runner-up and the winner, played in 4 series. The second place person had a match record of 26-12 in the regular season across 4 different series. The winner had a match record of 26-11.
Oh my gosh.
It was 1 loss different. In terms of game wins, it was 91-57 for runner-up. It was 99-68 for the winner. 99 wins. So second place is me.
Rigged.
5-4 in Legacy, 8-3 in Hero, 7-4 in Pro, 6-1 in Wild. You know what? Pretty good season, all things considered. Especially considering I thought I was going to stink it up in Pro, but managed to keep a positive win rate in all 4 series and get myself a trophy. So I'll take it. And yes, I did rig this. I put Edwin on top of my deck every single time I played Hero. Just ask Ron; he'll tell you. But yeah, it's a good season. But we're not here to talk about silver medals. That's not what this night is about. This night's about going for the gold. And it is my honor and privilege and jealousy to give the reward, to give the crossover trophy to Baystink, who totally deserves it. 4-5 in Legacy, 10-1 in Hero, 7-3 in Pro, 5-2 in Wild. Incredible performance overall. Really, really excellent performance against strong players. And winning 70% of your matches is next level. It's really something. So, Based, congratulations. You earned it. I won match. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, what else can we say about Based at this point that we haven't already said? Just an incredible season from top to bottom. That's this is kind of, I guess, the crowning achievement that most players who play in every series would love to add to their resume. And this is, I mean, just think about 70%. Do you go on ladder and win 70% of your games? Like, if you won 70% of your games on ladder, you'd be ecstatic, right? That's absurd. And to do that over the course of multiple months and multiple series is nuts.
That's 99-68. That's so much Hearthstone, and it's very easy to have a record way closer to 50% over that time. So it's also highest in the PPR. If you combine all the PPR, Based also first place with 96, whereas I'm at second at 92, which means she was beating good players, really good players, because you got to get those significant wins up. Impressive. Well done, Based.
So yeah, well that's it. Nothing else tonight, right?
Let's go.
Nope. Let's go. Let's wrap
Bye,
it up.
guys.
See you guys later.
Oh wait, do we have Hall of Fame to do? Is that if you've been waiting for that?
Is this an Apple keynote, and are you doing and one more thing? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I walked off the stage and came back, and then like the logo on the screen pops up. It's like, yeah, same iPhone as always. Slight shaded Apple.
Let's do some Hall of Fame. We've got some bad news though. Hall of Fame. We are not inducting Edwin Van Cleef tonight. Not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, God forbid.
Come on.
Soon.
So
we go sometime.
Yeah, he does have to. He doesn't have to go to the THL Hall of Fame. He has to go to the real Hall of Fame. But we do have multiple people to induct.
Are we fake?
No, we're real, but like we don't induct
Hearthstone.
cards. Sorry.
Hearthstone Hall of Fame.
Hearthstone Hall of Fame. Anyway, this is the Hall of Fame. As you can see, Saku has created an awesome Hall of Fame graphic for us. AKA, he took a screenshot of a Hall of Fame and added THL logos to it, which I think is genius.
Beautiful.
It's perfection. So Hall of Fame, we we did not do this the last off season. We decided to cut this down to an every other season affair so that we would not run into A, situations where people hadn't really changed much from previous nominations, and B, so that there would be an actual, class to talk about, because we ran into situations where we weren't inducting like anyone at all. So I think this lets us really take the time to debate people that were submitted, and thank you to everybody who submitted a player or captain or content creator. We went over all of them, I assure you, and we will continue to do so in the future. So with that being said, let's go ahead and induct our first inductee. It is a player from a legacy. It's me, myself, and I.
Boop, boop.
Woo.
So
Congrats,
woo,
me,
woo,
myself,
crap,
and I.
clap and clap, clap and clap. Yeah.
Or Tigger Me Bits, as he is in chat right now.
He has entered chat at the perfect time.
Chat.
Perfect time. He knew he was going to show up and just get inducted, I guess. So this was one that I think is probably honestly a long time coming. Had been a little bit away from THL for a bit. We had Diamond nominated. I will say Diamond nominated MMI. He's a Hall of Fame player through and through. 75% win rate in what was it, 6 seasons, I believe, when we were looking at the stats here.
5. This was his 5th.
This was his
He
5th.
came
Sorry.
back to be eligible.
Yes, 37-15 over 71.15%. 2 championships with HSA. That's what a player should be like to get into the Hall of Fame. Like, that's such a high bar, and MMI cleared it without really any effort whatsoever. Yeah, that's well deserved, man. Congratulations. I don't know if anyone else has anything else to like. I guess I'll say one more thing about MMI. My interactions with him as a player on Saturday Night Pain Gang when he was just kind of a coach / sub. Very motivated, very good at getting you to think about your lineups, your choices, and tech cards, things like that. Very cerebral the way he approaches lineups and whatnot, and I'm not surprised that he's a fantastic player to combine with that.
Yeah.
MMI. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just say, like, MMI is the kind of guy that just like puts 100% into anything that he does, and he hasn't played consecutive seasons. He came back, probably mainly just to be eligible for this, but anytime he is playing, he puts everything he has into both like improving his play and helping out his players. I can say I haven't technically been on a team with him, but I've been in discords with him when he's prepped. His knowledge of the game and his drive to make himself and his teammates better is insane, and he's absolutely deserving of the Hall of Fame.
MMI is the player that I was most scared to play. Not just because he would smash me every time we played, but every single time after we played, he'd be like, "Man, it was an honor to play you again." And it's just a dagger. Every single time we would play, he would beat me in about 20 minutes, and then just be like, "It's really just an honor to be able to play." And really nice, but at the same time, what a terror on the battlefield. So, MMI, big props. And I hope we see you again in future seasons, because every season you're in is better because you're in it.
All right. So, how do we follow that up? I guess I mean, we've got more people. It's pretty hard to follow up. We've got more people to induct.
I think the way that we follow that up is obvious.
Is it
I think it's
obvious?
he might be the best. I don't know. Obviously, is inducted as a player in the Legacy series. I know Duran was not here. Is it Duran or Darren? I don't know. He's not here to proclaim Avi the best. So if you want to throw it up in chat, Avi the best, please do. He is up there with the best and now inducted into the Legacy Hall of Fame. So a couple key stats to talk about here for Avi. I was holding the control button down and it made my Discord go crazy. 64.7% lifetime win rate. He does not have a championship, but that doesn't necessarily, it's not a requirement to get into the Hall of Fame, because it is a team game here in THL, and Avi continuously makes his teams better by not only playing, but just like MMI, very much contributing to the team overall. He was, outside of one poor season that he had with the Scrimps, he's been pretty much a rock on any team that he's a part of. So, shout out to one of the longest standing members of THL, a very deserving Hall of Fame inductee, and obviously, if anyone else would like to speak on his behalf, please feel free to do so.
Javi is the best player that I know that just sometimes brings absolutely unplayable garbage to Constructed Series and usually somehow wins anyways. And then he comes to my stream and says, "Rhat, this pen flinger hunter is really good. Why don't you try it?" It was not good. But he wins with it. And I played it, and my chat was like, "This is not a deck. Why? What are you doing? What is going on?" So Avi is the master of making something out of nothing in terms of Constructed, having these crazy ideas, but also just a really swell guy, a really supportive player, and he's been a captain for as long as he's been a player, and has been bringing together squads and bringing people to THL that make THL a better place, that make the quality of play higher. And for someone that has those kind of community attributes while also being a hell of a player is exactly who we're looking for.
Shout out to University of Michigan, by the way. Go Wolverines. Go Blue.
I've had some personal experience with Avi being my captain, with me stepping in. I think when one of his players was unable to continue the rest of the season. So, and he was a very, very understanding and great captain to take the time to run through a bunch of the Warrior decks that were running through the THL at the time, and appreciated his patience and his really taking the time to coach a 5 seed like me, and trying to make sure we got the total team wins. So
Also, whenever he registers, you guys should check out his true PR. It's ridiculous.
yeah, his PR
700 something, I think.
It's ridiculous.
600
It's pretty
in
great.
legacy or something like that. High 600s.
It's up there. Yeah, it's Brewski levels. MMI is also.
And I was
those
saying
levels, by the
MMI too. If
way.
we're
MMI,
talking
I
about
think,
PR.
is one of the highest. Also of note, Avi's first 2 full seasons were on teams that I think Jumbo Scrimps qualifies as a meme team, right? I don't know if we've asked the meme council on that, but I know that team was definitely not aiming for a more competitive approach, and also a run on Maple Syrup Inc. there. Sometimes their approach was a little bit more competitive, sometimes a little bit less. With those 2 seasons on the books, and they were not bad seasons by any means. One was a 4-4, one was a 2-7. To then just rattle off 8-0 season 10, 8-2 season 11, 6-0 season 12, 7-2 season 13. It just racking up wins.
Yep, 100%.
Very impressive.
All right. Well, thank you to both of you, both Em and mine, obviously, for continuing to raise the excellence bar in Legacy as players. But we have another candidate, or another inductee, I should say, who raised the bar as a captain. So we are going to be inducting a hero captain this season, which is a little bit. I think this is the first, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
Yellow Dart.
Yellow
I know
Dart.
he's a legacy captain as well, but he's specifically for hero in this induction. This is something I'm sure a lot of people say is a long time coming as well, as he's been part of the Dad Legend dynasty. We shall say, finally getting that championship with Hero last season, and that was season 11, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Overall, 55% win rate in total matches played across all seeds as a captain, which is really just in Hero unheard of. And the bar has been set very high here by Yellow Dart. And beyond that, just a fantastic guy. He has some iffy sports allegiances. We'll look over that in THL speak here. But overall, as a player, he's fantastic. As a captain, even better. But as a person, the best.
One thing I would like to point out with Yellow Dart is he is not afraid to pull in new players on his team and show them the ropes. He is constantly bringing in those players, and they're constantly showing, hey, this captain can really help me out, and he wins.
Yep.
The Dad Legend every season is always somehow in contention. I know he's in it for Hero, but even Legacy, he's an amazing captain and well deserved.
I'm just trying to think
Absolutely.
how many times he's been on stream as well. He's never afraid to jump on. Doesn't matter if it's 2 seconds before or if it's a week ahead. He's he's always jumping on stream to play and help contribute to the THL content. So
I want to point out we were looking at the stats for this, and it's kind of hard to say. The captain is the hardest category to get inducted in, I think, pretty definitively. And the bar was set really high in Legacy a long time ago by Mange and Sage, who were both. Sage has 4 rings. Mange has the ring and the highest overall win rate. And it's been really hard to hit. And the numbers look a little different over in Hero. It started later. The average player quality has been higher since the very beginning, I think. Just in terms of those first few seasons of THL, as it was called back then, not Ragnaros, not Legacy, but just called THL. There were some ups and downs there. I'm not saying that there weren't good players in it, but it was the formative years. We look at Hero. Yellow Dart has the highest win rate as a captain by a full % over the next closest person, except he has 9 seasons, and the second place person has 5.
Oh,
there is
longevity.
He has the top 5 captains in terms of win rates. 5 seasons, 5 seasons, 6 seasons, 5 seasons, and 9 seasons in first place. That kind of consistency over 3 full years of captaining, 382 total matches, is kind of bonkers, is really impressive. Finally got that win in season 11, and that season, that championship season, 66.67% team win rate. 2 out of 3 matches on the team. If that's not a Hall of Fame captain, I don't know what is.
That's all there really is to say about it, I think.
That's where that is. So is that pretty much wrapping up for tonight, guys? Or
yeah, I think that's going to be it. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. What a successful award show this has been. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add?
Donde, just get on with it. Come on.
What? There's
yes,
one
we have
more.
one thing we'd like to add.
There's
we have one thing we'd like
more.
to add. I think we have one more. Want to do one more?
I think we'll do one more induction. Let's do one more induction.
Are we?
With the help of a couple special guests here that we have added to the call specifically for this induction. We'd like to welcome Ron Mexico, Sage, and Quaz for our final Hall of Fame induction. Induction we kept secret here. It's the Big Ted.
Big Ted.
Hey, Ted.
Ted, congratulations.
Yes.
Keeping up our streak of hiding Hall of Fame inductions from people to the last second. So,
I don't know what to say.
I as somebody who was in your position just a few months ago, I completely understand. So I don't even know what else to say other than congratulations, Quaz, Ron, Sage. You guys have been, working with Ted obviously throughout Saloon's history, teammates of Ted's. Sage just had customers come in, so he can't actually speak right now. He's at work, but he thought this was so important part of as well. So I'm going to let Ron and Quaz talk because Quaz is the one who nominated you actually as well. So guys, take it away.
Well, Quaz and Sage nominated Ted. I was actually trying to keep Ted out, but you guys overruled me. But I'd love to hear from Ted's husband, Quaz.
Okay, so not husband, but
alleged husband.
alleged. We'll go with that. Ted has been an insane player in his history in Hero Series. His rookie season, not only did he win, help lead the team to semifinals, he made Rookie of the Season and Player of the Season and All-Stars. And I forget if he made All-Stars this season, but other than that, he's had 2 other All-Star seasons where out of 5. And then on top of that, he is literally the Hero Series sort of commissioner. Go to the Realm Discord and tag him, please.
It's real. It really exists.
It does. So he's been doing so much as a player and content-wise for Hero, and it is my greatest honor to say congrats on your Hall of Fame, buddy.
Thanks.
Many
Well,
many
Ted,
words
I was
from
hoping
the
Sage
big
would
Ted.
have
Yeah.
a chance to. Yeah, I was hoping Sage would have a chance to say something as well, because as was mentioned, he also you were nominated multiple times over, and a unanimous inductee for your not only for your contributions, of course, to Hero, but I just love the fact that you're so hype about Hero all the time, and you keep it. You keep it fun. You keep Hero Series chat in Discord singularly interesting by yourself. Driving everyone to have a lot of fun. So, feel free to have the floor here. Anything you want to say? This is your time, man.
I just want to say thanks to Quaz and Sage and Diamond for nominating me. Thanks for the committee for voting me in. I'm speechless.
Well,
Nice.
we're glad to have you as Hero Series commissioner, and we
Thank
haven't talked to Hat's been taking the stats here, so I'll let Hat run through your stats and why they're so impressive, of course. But Hat, take it away, man.
You got that 59.34 or 59.32. Sorry, everyone. Sorry. 59.32% win rate. We got 6 seasons of consistency. 35-24 record. Championship on the Colts. As previously mentioned, Rookie of the Year. I don't know. Ted's great. It's kind of a thing, right? That's why we're putting him in the Hall of Fame.
We only put the great ones in the Hall of Fame, Wayne Gretzky style.
Yeah.
Ew.
Not the Hall of kind of okay. It's the Hall of Fame. So Ted, congratulations, man. You deserve it.
Championship and 2 finals appearances as well should be mentioned.
Let's mention it. We just did. That's awesome. That's really good.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
really
waiting
good.
on the renaming, the Great Ted.
Great.
Not
Ted the
Ted
Great,
of, not Ted of Fame.
Ted of Fame. All of those are excellent.
And I mean, this was an award that, like, legacy player, we have to focus on like how someone performs specifically as a player in legacy. But it really can't be understated how much Ted has done, as the unofficial Hero Series commissioner. Just making, like almost every season, making playoff predictions, writing articles, like coming up with analysis, just really making people hyped about Hero. And I really think that like content in THL, that's what it's all about. It's about, individual people deciding that they have something, like some aspect of THL
Hey, can you
that
hear me?
they're really interested in, and they want to, come up and like,
yeah, I can hear
yes,
you,
we can
Sage.
hear you, Sage. Yeah.
Hey.
But like people, taking the initiative to create something that they really love, and that's exactly what Ted has done. So, obviously great as a player, but, equally has made contributions just like as a content creator, and just, creating discussion around Hero Series.
Sorry to butt in
Sage,
right there.
want to? No, you're totally good, Sage. Now that you can talk,
Yep,
anything
jump
that you
right
want
in,
to say
Sage.
about the big
Yeah, Ted, you have done a complete 180 with the show, and it is incredible. We got best show, so I heard, and congratulations to the team for all that, and just everything you've done for content over the seasons has just been remarkable. And honestly, I really hope that we stick with it for as long as we can, man. I know like there's seems to be a lifetime for like crews like ours, but let's just try to stick with it as long as we can. We got a good crew, and you are definitely the leader. So congratulations, you deserve it. And I got to get back to work. So I'll talk to y'all later, man. I'm glad I was able to hop in and say a couple words. Thank y'all for having me.
Thanks, Sage.
Thanks, Sage.
Hey.
Later, Sage.
Ron,
Well, that
did you
is
say? I was
like
gonna say,
actually all we had. Like for
Yeah.
real, that's all we had now. So, thank you everybody for being a part of this event tonight. Everybody who's here: dusharmo, markshire, R-Hat, Ron Mexico jumping in with Sage and Quaz. Mako bailed early. Ted, of course. Saku for being the MC, for running everything behind the scenes. Everybody who has been in chat all night, thank you guys for joining us. It's super hype, especially as an off-season event. I know we're not in season right now, and that tends to be less of a hype time for people to want to view THL content, but it's super cool that we got the gang back together in the off season here. So hopefully we see this coming up in the duos tournament this weekend, this type of hype, and of course get your stuff in by the end of the week. Logos, team names, rosters.
Can't do
Send
reveals.
them to help.
Yep, can't do team reveals without the team or
exactly.
the logos.
Also, can't
Exactly.
verify that your team is legal if you don't send me the team. So
Yeah, we had that scare last season too. So yeah, please let us verify as fast as we can, because man, that was a horrifying like 2 hours in board chat. So yep, that's actually it. You cannot believe me, Tuna, but that's the end of the show. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will be. I'm already excited for the next season. I don't know about you guys.
100%. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can't wait.
Ready for it to get started for sure.
nah, I'm bored with it.
Holy.
What type was that?
That's
That was
the ending of the
Sage's
show.
pocket.
Just saying, Jordan.
That's Sage's pocket.
I know. I know. I must be stoned because he got inducted as a player, and I know this because I'm on the freaking committee. Congratulations coming in as a player. I was sitting there thinking you were a contributor for some reason. I'm such an idiot.
I love how he had to
Alright.
run it back just to fix his.
Yeah.
Yes. No. I left the call and was like, wait a second, something doesn't feel right here. I've had a long day, guys. I'm sorry. All right.
Do you want to take back the stuff you said about the content being nice?
No, he has done really amazing things for content, but he has done really super good as a player too. Like, it is unbelievable. I don't know how he stayed as a 4 seed for so freaking long. What the hell, Ted?
I would like to thank Quaz for that, for building the team around me for being a 4.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's
That-
easy
that-
when you have
that-
a 5 that sucks.
Oh my goodness. All right. Now I really do have to get back to work. All right.
All right.
Love you guys.
All right, everybody. Well,
All right,
thanks,
bye, Sage.
thanks for
Bye.
joining us, and we'll close her out.
Thanks everybody. Have a great night.
Later, y'all.
Night, everyone.
Night night.